Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a brand new pick a card reading for you guys today, and today we are doing your September 2023 pick a card reading. So yes indeed, these are your September predictions, tapping into the energy. We're going to see what's on deck, what's going on. Always keep in mind, of course, that this is a general reading, so just about any kind of topic might pop up for the month of September, whether it is your love life, career, family, health, finances, or anything in between. Everything is up and open for discussion. So that's basically what's going on. And, once again, since this is a general reading, it's going to be picking up on the energies of a lot of different people who may come into this reading. So if the message doesn't flow for you personally, just let it go. But of course, if it does resonate, well, now you will know. Before I dive into our pile introductions today for this reading, first of all, I would just ask you guys to please give this video a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot here on the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed, I invite you to subscribe to my channel at this time and hit that notification bell, because by hitting that notification bell, you will be up to date on any and all updates as they come in and through my channel. And drop me a comment down below, because I would love to hear from you guys, so don't be shy. Feel free to say hi. And of course, to all of my returning subscribers, I appreciate you so incredibly much. You guys are awesome, so thank you for hanging out with me, as we always do. Finally, you guys, if I do resonate with you as a reader, there are private readings available on my website if you feel called to check one of those out, and if you feel interested, if you feel drawn to do that. So head on over to my website. It is shadowandshine.com, and that's a great way also for me to help you guys out on a more personal one-on-one level. Like, I love doing this and I love doing collective readings here for you guys, but sometimes someone has something going on personally that may not necessarily come up in a collective reading, and that's a great way to dive into that and kind of see what's happening there. So once again, shadowandshine.com, that's where you can order your own personal reading. So let's officially dive into these piles and see what our choices are here for September of 2023 and our predictions for this month. As always, you guys, you are welcome to pick one or multiple of these decks. You don't have to just keep yourself limited to just one. So, choose as how you feel fit to, whether it is by number, by leaf, since we have leaves here for the fall coming up in September. So choose however it resonates for you. Use your best judgment, use your intuition, because it will never misguide you. Okay, so pile number one, we have an orange leaf, a glittery orange leaf. So like I said, we're going for a kind of fall motif here, because September, fall is coming up, and I have a little bit of a treat coming up for you guys this month in September for fall, but I will get into that in another video. So pile number one is the orange leaf. Pile number two is the yellow or gold leaf. It's a maple leaf. It's huge. And all of these leaves have a little bit of glitter on them. Pile number three, we have a red leaf. So a nice little red leaf, nice and crisp and sparkly. So those are your pile options. And we're going to go ahead and dive in and get started here with pile number one, our orange leaf group. Hi, pile one. If you chose the orange leaf, then this is going to be your September 2023 pick a card reading, and we're going to see what you need to know coming up for the wonderful month of September, the first month of fall, coming up on the 23rd. Okay, so we're going to start off with your tarot cards here, and we'll just, continue from there to see what is on deck for you guys. So we have the Death card coming through. Make sure I can move these in an angle you can see them clearly. The Five of Chalices. The 8, I think it's 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, yes. 8 of Scythes. And the Hermit. Okay. Well, let's get into what may be going on here for you guys at this time. All right. I think we're going to dive into that 5 of Chalices first. I just want to check in my little this is the Buffy the Vampire Slayer tarot deck, just so you guys know really quick. I'm just kind of curious what their interpretation is of the 5 of Chalices. So let's read their interpretation together, shall we? The 5 of Chalices comes filled with condolences and caution. In equal measure, your heart is aching over a very real loss, but you are blaming yourself in the extreme, and it's preventing you from recovering. Guilt can reshape who you are. Just ask Willow, who morphed into Warren when she couldn't come to terms with losing Tara. Treat yourself with care and make room for healing. Oh boy, wow. So there's definitely a lot to be said here with this card. And I know they mentioned like Willow and her grief over losing Tara for this card, but that's not who's on this card. It's Buffy who's on this card. And this was at the very beginning of season 3 when she basically ran away from Sunnydale and was working as a waitress in LA. And she was doing that pretty much to escape her life. But she was also in a state of grief. She was grieving the loss of Angel because she had just killed the love of her life at the end of season 2 in order to save the world. And this was her way of coping. Not exactly the healthiest coping mechanism in terms of running away necessarily, but that's what she was doing. Clearly we have lots of cups that are spilt over here, but it's interesting to note here that we have one cup here that is still upright, and then of course she is pouring coffee into the cup that's in her hand. So one of the reminders with the 5 of Chalices, otherwise known as the 5 of Cups, because the cups and chalices are basically the same thing in this deck, and cups typically represent emotions. So in this kind of situation, it's like you're focused on everything that's gone wrong. You're focused on the loss. You're focused on how everything has gone bad. You're focused on that cup that is spilt over. But you kind of almost forget to look around you and the fact that you still have 2 cups that are upright. And, she's literally filling up her own cup here in this card. She's literally filling up her own cup. So this may be a month where you need to spend some time filling up your own cup and remembering the fact that you still have opportunities here. You still have good things to be grateful here with these 2 cups that are still upright and that are still full. Of course, there's always a time to grieve. There's always a time to, feel the losses that we have. But it's also important to not live in that and stay in that. And, that may be hard for you to do throughout the month of September because we also have that 8 of Scythes here. And with the 8 of Scythes, it's pretty much someone who is blinded to what's going on around them, as this card quite literally suggests. In the traditional tarot, it's typically someone who is, once again blinded, and they're surrounded by a bunch of swords because scythes in this deck also are the same thing as swords in traditional tarot. And, pretty much it's like, it's someone who has put themselves, not someone has put them there, but they have put themselves there into their own little mental prison because swords or scythes very much so represent our thought life. So this is someone who has kind of trapped themselves in their own thoughts, in a sense, and they kind of feel stuck and they feel like they can't move. And I feel like that stuckness and feeling like they can't move very much extends from their emotions here, in the fact that, you know, they're grieving all this loss, they're not paying attention to the fact that they still have, you know, opportunities and positive things around them. You know, in Buffy's case here, some of the positives that were surrounding her was the fact that she did still have a mom and friends at home who very much so loved her and very much so cared about her. Obviously, that's not where her headspace was in terms of focusing on that, but those were some positive things that she still had. You know, she still had her health. She was still young and all these other things. So, yeah, but this is definitely someone who is very much so emotionally grieving, feels that they don't have any opportunities around them, though they do, and they are trapped in this line of thinking. They are trapped in, you know, locking themselves into this very sad place of despair is what it comes down to. So you may be going into September kind of feeling like this. You know, I don't know what necessarily happened prior to this in order to put you into this position. Maybe you had quite literally a loss. Maybe someone did pass away. Maybe it was a loss of a relationship. Maybe a relationship ended in your life, whether it's romantic or friendship. Maybe it was job loss. It could be a lot of different types of things. But either way, I feel like heading into the month of September, you probably experienced something that kind of puts you into this headspace of just like feeling trapped and feeling like nothing is going to go right and everything is going wrong, and you kind of have yourself trapped in that space. Now, the interesting thing about the person with the Eight of Scythes is they put themselves in this position, which means they have the ability to get themselves out. You don't have to be trapped. You don't have to be blinded to the world around you. And the truth is, there are probably more good things happening around you than you realize at this moment, at this time. Your emotions and your thoughts are the thing that's got you blindfolded here, and it's kind of preventing you from seeing that that's a possibility. But this is probably how you're starting off September. But I feel like Spirit is giving you some tools and is giving you some keys here on how to move past this energy for the rest of the month. So first of all, we have the Hermit coming through. So Hermit mode, of course, is all about going within. It is all about spending time on your own, by yourself, for yourself, kind of a thing. So it may be good for you to just kind of like detach from the world around you and just take care of yourself. Take care of you. You know, this may not be a super social month for you. You may not necessarily want to hang out and see people and that kind of thing, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We all go through seasons of doing that. But I feel like being in that hermit mode, it's going to help you change your perspective. It's going to help you flip the switch on things. And if anything, it's going to ultimately help you heal from what's been going on here. And then we have the Death card. And I feel like this card is ultimately providing us the reason as to why all of this is happening. So the Death card is ultimately transformation, is what it comes down to. It is the passing of something to make way for a new something. It's like, you know, the shedding of the skin, basically. It kind of reminds me of, like, in a weird way, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with who Howie the Crab is on TikTok, but Howie the Crab is a crab, obviously, on TikTok, and, I mean, I'm not super knowledgeable about crabs or anything like that, but they go through seasons of molting where they basically, you know, they shed their skin like a snake. Basically, they shed their exoskeleton, and their nerves and everything are you being a good girl? Sorry, I just heard my dog Tinkerbell coughing or something. You better not be getting into anything you're not supposed to. No, just lay down. Be a good girl. Anyway, so their nerves and everything are attached to this exoskeleton as they're in the process of molting and shedding this. And Howie is an older crab, so it took her a really long time to go through the molting process. The younger they are, the easier it is for them. But when they go through that, it is like a death process, you know, because you are shedding this skin, and it's painful and it's uncomfortable for them when they're going through that. But once they go through that, you know, like, you could see it on the TikToks, like Howie is very happy, and, you know, Howie can't even eat food when she's going through the molting process, but then after she's done molting, she's able to eat. Like, it's this huge happy thing. And if you hear my dogs in the background, I'm sorry, I don't know what they're doing right now. Yeah, so you could be going through a molting process, basically, like Howie. So if you're not familiar with Howie the Crab, go check out Howie the Crab on TikTok. You'll probably understand more if you refer to that. But for those of you who are familiar with Howie the Crab, that you'll understand that's basically what the process is. So you're going through the death process. You're shedding this skin. You're shedding this old exoskeleton, but it's because something newer and bigger and brighter and better is around the corner for you. And it shows that here once again with these two cups, because these two cups represent the fact that it's not all over. There's still something better. You may have to go through this painful transformation process right now. You know, it's like the caterpillar becoming the butterfly kind of thing. But that is because there is that butterfly body on the other side of this, basically. So let's see what else is going on. We have some oracle cards to get through here too, to maybe give us some insight. Let's see. I'm trying to decide. We'll go through the doggy ones first, the divine doggies. So we got some divine doggy cards. Since my dogs are acting up, would you please get into your bed? Like, Shadow's right at my feet, and his bed is like right next to me, so I'm just like, just get into your bed, just relax. All right, so we have imagination. Get the big picture. So I feel like one of the reasons why it's been so hard for you to, sorry if there's a glare on that there. That's from the ring light. I can't necessarily stop that, but I'll try and maneuver it. There we go. In a way where you can't see it as badly. So anyways, yeah, with imagination, get the big picture. I feel like with all this pain and suffering and, you know, kind of this limited vision that you've had for yourself, it's small-minded thinking. You know, you're only thinking at maybe a 5-mile radius around you when you really need to start thinking 100-mile radius around you. So yeah, you got to start looking beyond the pain, beyond the suffering. You know, it's about finding the purpose in what's happening here. So that's definitely really important. And we also have rest. Take a time out. And this is basically hermit mode right here, you guys. This is that hermit mode coming through. That's exactly what that is. So take that time for rest. Confirmation on that right there. Take some time for yourself. Take care of you. You know, you're going through a time of regeneration is what it comes down to. This is a time to regenerate. So take care of you as you regenerate so you can get your energy up, get your strength up, and then you'll be ready for the next chapter. And you got to believe that that next chapter is going to be bigger and better than ever, better than you can imagine. See that big picture there. You're a co-creator with the universe. So if you keep on creating, you know, this painful misery here you've kind of been sitting in, you're going to see more of that. That doesn't mean that what you went through wasn't justified. Of course it's justified. But you're only disservicing yourself by remaining in the muck. Arrogance, get off the pedestal. So I feel like this is for those of you who's holding on to your pain. Stop holding on to your pain. Stop making it a part of your identity. You don't want that to be a part of your identity. You don't want to be known as the person who's constantly walking around, complaining how their life is so miserable and how it's so terrible, because I can promise you there's someone else out there who has it worse than you, who probably has a better attitude than you do. So if you, and I don't feel like this is applicable for everyone, because I feel like if you're here, generally you're probably looking to take better care of yourself and work on self-improvement anyways. But if you have been struggling in that department, it's time to stop identifying with our pain. And sometimes the only reason why we do that is because we don't know what our identity is outside of the pain. And that leads kind of more so into an identity crisis. And it's okay if you don't know who you are. Dogs are being so distracting right now. It's okay if you don't know who you are outside of your pain, but now is the time to start to discover that. It's now the time to find out who you are outside of that pain, because I guarantee whoever you are is someone super amazing. And we have cooperation, better together. So I do feel like you're not alone in this. There are other people around you who love you, who care about you, who want to see you thrive, who want the best for you. It's going to be a lot easier to work with those other people if, you start opening your mind a little bit and start releasing and letting go of some of that pain. There's still that hermit mode and there's still that time of rest, which I still feel like is very important. But, when you've gotten to the point where you've been in that hermit mode long enough and you've taken good care of yourself and kind of separated yourself long enough, once again, don't stay there. Don't get to the point where you completely isolate yourself. Reconnect with people eventually. And, you will see that there are people there who love you, who care about you, who support you, who want to help you. Okay. Let's see. We also have Healing Begins. Oh, this one so makes sense, you guys. This is a time of healing right now. It's without a doubt a time of healing. With everything that's been going on. So, yeah, September is going to be a month of great healing for you. Oh my gosh, that glare is unreal when I put a card over on this side. Okay, what else do we have here? Daydreams and decisions. So I feel like this is kind of some guidance on what to focus on when you're in that hermit mode, when you're in that time of just spending time by yourself. It's going to be a good time to daydream a little bit. Like, you may have been living your nightmare for whatever amount of time leading up until September. You don't want to continue living your nightmare, though. And the best way to not live your nightmare is to focus on what you do want. Do a little bit of daydreaming. That's okay, Like, think about when you were a teenager or when you were a little kid and you would daydream about, like, let's say you were a teenager and there was a boy at school that was, like, super cute and, you would just daydream about him. You'd be in, like, math class, a class that you didn't like and you couldn't stand and maybe it bored you to tears. And that was your way of getting through that class, was daydreaming about that boy. Granted, I may be talking about myself here a little bit here, but hey, I'm sure I'm not the only one who did that. Or like when you were a little kid and it would be close to, say, like Christmas time or something, and there would be all that anticipation for Santa coming, and you would daydream about what presents could possibly be waiting for you under the tree, or daydream about that perfect vacation, or daydream about, there's so many different things you could possibly daydream about, but that's okay. Start daydreaming again. That's going to help you kind of like shift your energy into a more positive mode. And once again, you're a co-creator with the universe. You want to make your daydreams a reality, you got to start daydreaming them again and stop living in the pain and the nightmares that have been going on. And, from there, once you kind of get into that mode, Don't just sit on those daydreams. Don't just let them be daydreams. Start making decisions. Start making plans. Start taking action towards those daydreams. So yeah, that's all going to be very, very good for you. And we also have challenging times. I feel like that just confirms what you're probably experiencing right now, what's presently going on for the month of September. It's a challenging time. But try to remember, it's like bad times can suck, yes, but they are temporary. They eventually do end. Just like good times eventually do end. But especially when you're in a challenging time, it's definitely a reminder that you need to hear is that they do not last forever. They do eventually come to an end. And your last card here is New Vitality. That's a beautiful way to end this reading. Because ultimately, that's what's going to come out of your transformation here that you're going through in this death process. The old has to pass, you know, even though releasing that is probably very difficult and very hard, at the same time, it's going to be like releasing a weight that you've been carrying around. And once you release that weight completely, emotionally and mentally, you're going to be able to experience new vitality, mentally, emotionally, physically, in every way, shape, and form. So, you know, there is new vitality being breathed into you at this time. You know, and it's interesting too, because we've got this rainbow that's coming through this little musical instrument the guy's playing. And, you know, think about rainbows. You know, rainbows don't magically appear on sunny days. Rainbows take a very specific composition to happen in the sky in order for them to happen. You know, the light has to reflect in just a perfect way in order for that to happen. And it's not going to happen on a perfectly sunny day. It's not going to happen on a perfectly rainy day either. There has to be like this interesting mixture of both sun and rain to produce a beautiful rainbow. And I think that's a beautiful example of what life really is, because life is not all rain and life is not all sun. Life is a combination of both going on, and when they both happen, they create this. They create a beautiful rainbow. So try to remember that. The rainbows are happening in your life. So that's basically what I have for you guys for your September 2023. Apparently I cannot talk. Your September 2023 pick a card reading. Like I said at the beginning here, if the message doesn't flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did resonate, now you know. And, you know, I know you guys are definitely going through a tougher time in this particular group. And, you know, I'm hopeful whoever this did make sense for, that when we come back again in October, we'll see a lot of healing that has occurred, and maybe we'll be heading into October with some better, happier vibes, and looking forward to some bright new things happening. So we will see. Anyways, you guys, before we head on out of here, I would ask you once again to give this reading a thumbs up, because that definitely helps me out in terms of the YouTube algorithm, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because that way then you will be up to date on all the new updates that come in through this channel. And of course, leave me a comment down below. Say hi. You know, I'm always up to chat and to talk with you guys. So yeah, that is basically it. That's basically everything that's going on here. So once again, if I resonate with you as a reader, I would ask you to head on over to my website, shadowandshine.com, and it is over there that you can order your own personal reading. And I would love to be able to assist you guys more so on a one-on-one type of basis. And of course, that's a great way to go ahead and do that. So head on over to shadowandshine.com if you feel called to do so. So yeah, that is about it. I hope you guys have a very festive fall coming up here in September, and that, of course, all of this improves and gets better, and that you guys are in a much more happier spot come the end of September as we go into October. So that's about that. Otherwise, like I said, I want to thank you guys for stopping on by and checking this out. I know I'm totally rambling now at this point. I am sending you guys lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the yellow golden maple leaf, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what is in store for you for September of 2023. All right, we got some good stuff going on here. We're going to start off with your tarot cards, and then we have some oracle cards to follow up with that. Okay, so your tarot cards are as follows. Let's see what you guys got. The Knight of Pentacles, the Fool, the Three of Scythes, and Strength. And I'm sorry if my dogs interrupt this reading, because this started with pile 1. Tinkerbell's going nuts. I don't know what's up with her. Shadow is thankfully down at my feet, and he is fine, laying in his bed. I don't know what's gotten into Tinkerbell. I had to stop between you guys and pile 1 to deal with her, like, ripping apart a toy taco. I just don't think she wants me to be doing this reading at this time. She wants me to be playing with her, which she gets plenty of attention. So, anyways, that's besides the point. Just talking about her right now is giving her more attention. She's just kind of driving me nuts in the background with the background noise that she's doing. It's a little distracting. Okay, so we're going to start off here with this Knight of Pentacles. So, usually when I start a reading, I normally don't automatically jump to, oh, this is about love or whatever. But in this case, I do kind of get the love kind of vibe off of this. So with the Knight of Pentacles, basically the Knight of Pentacles represents someone who is slow and steady wins the race, okay? So this is someone who is very reliable. He is stable. He has a lot of earth energy. He's very grounded. All good things, right? But he's just slow. He's slow moving. He takes his time. He's not someone who comes in swiftly and quickly. He just takes his time. The good thing about this knight is he is the one who always finishes the crossing line, that he will always make it to his goal. He will always make it to the end. He will always make it to where he is supposed to go, to where he is supposed to be, because he is Mr. Reliable. So, that is a positive thing about him. Now, granted, we could look at this card in a lot of different ways. It could be you on your journey with your career, or something like that. But I personally get the vibe that this particular card probably represents a person in your life that you have been struggling with in terms of a relationship. That, it seems like they're slower than molasses in a sense to kind of catch up in the situation. And the reason why I feel like it's probably more so relationship related than representing you and the pace that you're going is because we also have the Three of Scythes here. And the Three of Scythes represent exactly what it looks like here. It represents heartbreak. It represents pain. So yeah, this is not a fun card to get. It's your heart being torn in half. And the truth is, I feel like this Knight of Pentacles, this isn't your first rodeo with this person. So I feel like they've probably given you a lot of heartache. They've probably given you a lot of grief. They've probably given you a lot of stress when it comes to your relationship with this person, basically. And a lot of the stress dealing with your relationship could simply be from the fact that they do take forever with a lot of things. That they don't necessarily catch up to where you want to be. Like, you know, like if this is a romantic relationship, you may want to be like happily married and settled down with kids, and this person is just slowly taking their time, just enjoying maybe like dating you or something like that, that they're not like ready to make that kind of commitment. Although once again, because it is a Knight of Pentacles and it is an energy of stability, I feel like when this person does make their mind up to commit, they do commit. This is not someone who's going to back out of their commitments when they get into them. So if it takes them a while, that may be a good thing. You know, it's better than hopping into something fully committed and then, you know, a month, a year, whatever later, the whole thing falls apart because that person was never really serious about that commitment. But in the meantime, while you're kind of waiting to get to that point, while you're kind of having your patience pressed and pushed, it could be bringing you a lot of heart grief in the meantime, and you could be doing a lot of questioning, like, is this even really worth it? But we do have the Fool card here. And the Fool card is someone who takes a leap of faith. It's someone who takes a leap of faith blindly, for that matter. You know, this is somebody who jumps into the pool and they don't check to see whether there's water in there or not. The pool could be completely empty and they could smash their head. Or it could be filled with water and they'll be fine. This is someone who does not look both ways before they cross the street. They just charge. They just go. But they charge and they just go because they feel that energized to do so, that they have that much faith to do so, that they trust that even though they're taking this huge leap, this huge leap of faith, that they're taking a huge risk is what it comes down to. They trust that it's all going to come together, that it's all going to fall in place is what it comes down to. So I feel like this is definitely about that Knight of Pentacles, that he may be getting to a place where he is ready to take a leap of faith. Now, this may not be taking a leap of faith to the point of where you want it to be. Like, for example, if you want like a marriage proposal out of this person, they may not do that, but they may be like, hey, let's be exclusive, or hey, let's move in together, or something like that. But the point is, it seems like they're ready to make a leap of faith to take it to the next level in some way, shape, or form. And as for you, I feel like you ultimately, you're strong. You have a lot of strength here. That no doubt this connection has not been easy is what it comes down to. It has not been easy. It's definitely been challenging. The fact that this person is slower than molasses is proof of it, you know, like especially if you're a woman and you're in a relationship with a man and maybe you got like a baby clock ticking there and you're like, hey, time is almost up. I really want to have a baby. And, you know, it's like, I'm in my 30s now. I'm almost 40 or whatever it may be. It's like, I want to have a baby. Like, let's hurry up. Let's do this thing. And he may be frustrating you, causing all this broken-hearted energy. But the truth is, you have the strength. You have the strength to get through this. And you have the strength to get through this in one of two ways. And those two ways are completely in your court. The ball is in your court with that. You're a co-creator with the universe. You can make the decisions for yourself. Number one, you can either continue to carry on in this connection and trust that this Knight of Pentacles here, who is reliable, is going to step up completely, taking that leap of faith. Or if you get to the point where you're just like, hey, I don't want to wait around anymore, you also have the strength to walk away if he can't make it there. So those are your two options, to keep going or to walk away. And both of those choices take a lot of strength. It takes a lot of strength to stay in a connection that's very challenging, and you may love this person and everything, but it equally takes a lot of strength to walk away and say, hey, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to start anew. I'm going to start on my own. And I am definitely not here to tell you guys which route to take, whether it is to stay or whether it is to go. I am just indicating here a quality that is within you here, and the fact that you have a lot of strength. And I feel like, you know, the answer could be different for everybody. There could be some people watching this reading where the answer is going to be to stay and to work things out with this person. And there are going to be other people watching this reading, and they're going to know that their answer is going to be to walk away and to leave and to move on. And, you know, like I said, ultimately, you're a co-creator with the universe. You're the one who gets to make this choice. I don't feel that there's any wrong or right answer. I just feel like you have the strength to ultimately make whatever choice you do choose. You have the strength to make that option work for you, to make it work for the best, so that most importantly, you don't have this going on anymore. So that most importantly, you don't have this heartache and you don't have this pain going on anymore. So it seems like that is going to be a big theme for you guys in the month of September. But let's see what else we need to know. And there's literally... What are you doing? I swear, Tinkerbell's nuts. She's a little climber, and she will literally like climb furniture to get onto the counter of the kitchen, and which is what she's doing right now. She knows she's not supposed to. I don't know. I'm going to have to obviously check in on her when I finish your guys' pile and move on to the next one. Welcome to my adventures with doing readings with Tinkerbell. She is a handful. She lives up to her namesake. And speaking of Tinkerbell, we're going to look at the Divine Dogs of Wisdom and see what wisdom the doggies have for you guys this month. So we have allowing, let it happen, let it happen. So, you know, that can be really hard when we're, you know, once again, in a challenging connection, in a challenging relationship. That's ultimately all about go with the flow, is what it comes down to. You can't force things to happen. And you definitely can't like control or force another human being. The only human being you can control is yourself. And the things that you can take care of for yourself. You can control your reactions to things. And you can control, like, actions that you can reasonably take and go after in your own life. But otherwise, there's a lot. I feel like there's much more in life that we don't have control over than what we do. You know, like things we all have to deal with that we have no control over, for example, is like paying taxes. We all have to deal with that. We may not necessarily all want to deal with that, but we all have to deal with that. So this is definitely just about like go with the flow. Go with the flow, especially if you are undecided whether or not to continue to pursue this connection over the course of the next month. Maybe just kind of go with the flow and, you know, allow things to happen, see how this person is, see how they act, see how they behave, see what their words are, see if their actions measure up to that, that kind of thing. You know, just kind of sit back, just kind of like lean back and watch and see what they do. Because if you do that, that may help you decide whether this is something that is worth your time going forward or not. We also have companionship through thick and thin. So, okay, so for those of you who are having a little bit of anxiety there with the strength card about, you know, oh, you have one of two choices. You can either choose to continue to stay in this connection or you can leave this connection. For those of you who are having anxiety about that and freaking out, thinking like, oh my God, do I have to leave him? This would be your confirmation that you don't have to leave him. I told you, there are going to be some of you who decide to see this through, who do decide to continue this connection. And as long as there's not like abuse happening, as long as this is a healthy connection, it can be a slow connection and still be healthy. As long as it's healthy, as long as things are happening for your highest interest and your best good, then that's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously. There's no such thing as the perfect relationship. But the important thing is that it's healthy, it's stable. And, the Knight of Pentacles, he's known for being stable. So I do feel like this definitely represents that connection, that bond that you guys have, the fact that there is companionship there, and that for a lot of you, the end result probably will be seeing this through thick and thin. So through those ups and downs, through good times and bad, for better, for worse, and everything in between. Purpose, follow your path. So a part of challenging relationships of any kind, really, we find out what our purpose is, we don't necessarily find our purpose being isolated and by ourselves. Not to say that we don't need time alone, because it is healthy and it is good to have time by yourself from time to time. But just like we are broken through relationships and we have heartbreak through relationships, we also can find healing through relationships. So I do feel like that this connection is a part of your purpose and it is a part of your path. So yeah, sometimes you just have to follow the path, follow the carved pathway in front of you. Since I moved to Colorado, I've been doing a lot of hiking lately. And, when you're doing a hike, you're not on like some paved road like you are driving. It's like a carved out, ditched out, dirt pathway is what it comes down to. And you don't necessarily always know where you're going, where you're headed when you're down those hikes. You don't know if you're going to be headed for a steep incline or you're going to have to start going down the hill or whatever it is. You don't know if like the next twist or turn around is going to lead you necessarily to a scenic view or whatnot. But you just have to keep following that path. As long as you stay on that path, number one, and keep following it, you'll eventually find out where it leads and where it goes. And same goes for you guys. You will eventually find out where this is leading, where this is going. Okay. Let me arrange our cards here a little bit better. I'm trying to make it so there's enough room. I also don't want there to be glare on the cards. I had issues with the last pile with there being glare from the ring light. Okay. And we also have integrity. Presenting an all-together you. So that's the most important thing here, you guys. Be true to you. Be true to your heart. Whether it's in this connection or any other area of your life. Because anywhere you're not being true to you, you're not in your fullest integrity, like it's gonna fall apart. Whether it's a relationship or job or anything else. If you're not being true to who you are, it's destined to fail. So stay true to you. That is the most important thing. And especially when it comes to our relationships with other people, ultimately at the end of the day, everyone is us just pushed out is what it comes down to. Everyone is like a reflection of us in one capacity or another. So yeah, just stay true to you, and the right people who are meant to be there, who are aligned with that true you, will be there. All right, what else do we need to know? Sacral chakra. So it seems like your sacral chakra is going to be activated in the month of September. That kind of makes sense once again in a relationship type of reading, because the sacral chakra is kind of like another term for it could be the sexy chakra, because it is the chakra that is connected to our reproductive organs. It's the chakra that ignites passion within us. It brings about sexual healing and purification. So, there could be a lot of sexual healing in a sense when it comes down to this connection through the month of September. And, especially a romantic connection like this, that will definitely activate that sacral chakra without a doubt. Manifest. Ooh, I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards from this deck, the Psychic Tarot for the Heart. So we have this dude here he's kind of like got like magician energy from like the normal tarot. He's got his hands held up and he's got like all this like magical light coming out of like a little trunk here and everything. And it's super cool imagery. And I feel like the imagery perfectly represents what you guys need to know. And the truth is, you guys can manifest whatever you want in your life. Once again, you're a co-creator in the universe. You're not a victim. You're not just here to fall to the whims of whatever the universe wants for you. You have a say. You have a say in how things go in your life. And if you want to manifest an awesome life, you can do that. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be challenges. I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect just because you set your intentions to something good and positive. Chances are there will probably be more so, simply because you're awake, you're aware, and you're putting in the work and you're taking care of yourself. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. That doesn't mean it's not possible. So if you want to manifest, this Knight of Pentacles to get into more like that Fool energy, to take a leap of faith, to, work on your connection here and to make it a little bit better and brighter than where it is right now, you can do that. Set those intentions. New moons are a great time for setting intentions. Every month we have an opportunity to set intentions with new moons and kind of see what's coming through and to fruition with full moons. So, and you don't even have to wait for a new moon, a full moon, or any kind of moon to do that. You can do that anytime, any day you want. Don't be limited by that stuff, of course. But I'm just saying, you guys have the ability to do it right there. It's like this untapped power that you may not even realize that you have within you. Rest and reconsider. So, we had some rest that was coming through from pile 1. And, you guys have a lot going on here with this relationship. You guys just may need to sit with this for a minute and rest a little bit before you decide on what your next, sorry for the yawn, on what your next move is going to be. And as for reconsider, I mean, I don't feel like reconsider is necessarily saying like, oh, you need to change your mind on what you want to do. I feel like if anything, it's more so saying like, look at all the facts around you. Look at all the possibilities around you. Look at all the different options around you when it comes to this connection before you make like a firm decision is what it comes down to. And when you are looking at all those different options or all those different possibilities or all the different facts, try to look at it not from an emotional place. Try to look at it for just what it is without attaching emotion to it. Because when we attach emotion to it, we're going to become a little bit more clouded and a little bit more distracted on what we need to do next. And I need to take a little sip of a drink here because my throat is acting weird and I don't know why. So just hold on one second. Okay. When you're just talking and talking and talking and talking, that happens. Okay. And last but not least, you guys have dedicated effort. So we have this guy here who is painting a picture, and ironically enough, he is painting a picture of a couple. And I feel like this dedicated effort here, it comes from your Knight of Pentacles. I feel like he genuinely and truly is trying to put in the dedicated effort is what it comes down to. That sometimes it may not always feel that way, that you may get frustrated because he is slow once again. But I feel like his heart is in the right place and that he genuinely really is trying. And, if he's the one who's like creating this masterpiece of art in a sense behind the scenes, you may not even see everything he's trying to do or trying to gather or trying to prepare on his end. So yeah, I feel like this is just a reminder that this person really is trying their absolute best. So yeah, that's basically what I have going on here for you guys. I feel like my ring light is just reflecting the light here so much on all these cards. Sorry about that. Sometimes I don't notice it until I actually like look into the screen of my phone. Anyways, that's basically what I have going on here for you guys for the month of September. Feel free to give this video a big thumbs up once again, like I said at the beginning of this reading, because it definitely helps me out a lot and helps put me on the map in terms of YouTube. Also, feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that way then you are up to date and in the know of every update as it comes in and through this channel. And drop me a comment down below. Say hi. You know, I would love to chat with you guys, you know, so don't be shy at all. Be friendly. So yeah, and once again, you guys, if this message did not flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did resonate, now you know. And once again, if I resonate with you guys as a reader, feel free to check out my website, shadowandshine.com, and you can get your own reading over there. Exclusively for you, your own personal reading. There are many different types available over there, and it's a great way for me to connect with you guys on a more one-on-one basis and get to know you a little bit better, which is always so much fun for me, because, you know, I kind of like to get to know you guys a little bit better more than just, hey, this is the collective. So yeah, shadowandshine.com, check it on out and see if there is any reading there that kind of calls out to you. So that's basically what I have for you guys. Like I said, I hope you all have a very fun and festive fall coming up here for September. And of course, swing on back here come October for your October 2023 pick a card reading. I, of course, will have other readings going up between now and October, but every month I do try to post the like monthly pick a card for whatever month that happens to be. So yeah. Otherwise, I am sending you guys lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose this red leaf with the sparkles on it, then this is going to be your September 2023 reading. Okay, let's find out what is going on, what is in store for you guys coming up. All right, we're going to start off here with your tarot cards, and then we will bring in the oracle cards as well, and let's find out what's going on with you guys. We have the, Roman numerals, how I don't like you, because I can never read them right, so I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 of stakes. 9 of stakes. And I don't know what Tinkerbell's doing. She's been acting crazy in every reading. The Page of Pentacles. You guys have the Page of Pentacles coming through. The King of Pentacles. All right, we got kind of a pentacle trend going on here. And the 5 of Scythes. All right, so we got quite a bit of energy going on here. It's very interesting. This is the Buffy the Vampire Slayer Tarot, just so you guys know. And I think we're going to take a look here first with the 5 of Scythes to see exactly what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and refer to the booklet here just to see what their interpretation of is it. Now, scythes, just so you guys know, is the equivalent to swords. So let's see if their definition measures up to like the traditional version. The 5 of Scythes is a true double-edged sword. Sure, you may have recently been the victor in battle, but you don't feel good about how you won. Think harsh words, low blows, and shifty ethics that are making others now question their trust in you. You can't take back what happened, but you can apologize and make amends. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to come back to that. I'm also going to check on this Nine of Stakes really quick. I kind of have an idea already what might be happening here with these two, but I want to check on these two first, just to see if what's coming through energetically is making sense. So let's see here with the Nine of Stakes, which would also be Wands, just so you guys know. Being brave and heroic sounds great. But what about when you're getting your butt kicked left, right, and center? The Nine of Stakes finds you recoiling from a punch to the face, bruised and weary, but still fighting. When this card appears, it means your courage is being tested. But guess what? You have a secret weapon, the people on your side, surrounding you with love and support. So keep swinging, because you are one hit away from defeating your enemy. Okay, interesting. So we definitely have this fighting theme kind of going on here between these two. Now let me bring it in here with this Page of Pentacles and King of Pentacles. So you can take this one of two ways. You can take this to be either about you or someone who is around you. So I feel like recently, or this could be what you're dealing with, you know, through the month of September, basically, that number one, with this Five of Scythes, you know, you've been going through some struggles and you've been going through some battles. Now, this could be personally, this could be professionally, this could be in a lot of different ways, but you've definitely been going through some battles. And, you know, we have Buffy's mom here, and we have Buffy, and obviously her mom looks very disappointed in her in this card. So, you know, if Buffy hasn't necessarily been playing by the rules, so to speak, you know, that's probably why her mom is very disappointed in her in this card. So maybe in some ways with what you've been battling and with what you've been going through, maybe to be fair, you haven't necessarily been playing by the rules. Maybe you haven't been playing fair. You know, like maybe if someone has been really mean and nasty to you, maybe your decision has been to match their energy, basically. Which isn't always necessarily the best thing to do. Sometimes it is better to take the high road than the low road. But there may have been some moments recently where you've been taking the low road in terms of just what you've been up against and what you've been going through. And I feel like this is going to be different for everybody. You know, for some people, it's going to be something in their personal life. For other people, it's going to be something in their professional life. And so many other things in between. Maybe a combination of both. With this Nine of Stakes, obviously it's referring to keep going, to keep fighting. I feel like this basically indicates that the fight that you have, that you're facing right now, it's justified. Like, maybe there are certain ways you could go about things that could be tweaked, that could be changed, that could be made better, that could be a little healthier in a sense, but what you're fighting for is worth fighting for. You're not crazy here. And you do have support around you. There are people standing behind you who do support you in this struggle that you're currently experiencing, that you're currently facing. So you do have support. You're not alone in it. Now with this Page of Pentacles and King of Pentacles, what's really interesting to me about the Pentacles here, now it makes sense why you guys did not get the Knight of Pentacles, because one of the other piles actually got the Knight of Pentacles, and that was for a completely different reading. But the interesting thing here is the Page of Pentacles is kind of like the starting point in a sense when it comes to the characters dealing with the Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is, it can sometimes be an offer being presented to you. It can be like a very tangible, very real offer. So it could be an offer, like, for example, like if it's in a relationship, it could be somebody proposing marriage. If it's a financial or job type of situation, it could be somebody offering you a job. So it typically is something very tangible that's being offered to you, and it's usually the hi, now I have a dog at my side who wants my attention, and I know, I see you both. Can you both go lay down in your bed over here? You don't have to be on this side of me. There's a bed right over here. You're missing where to go. I swear these dogs have been too much right now. I may have to put these cards down and move him really quick. Shadow, come here. Over here. Over here. So, Shadow is being moved. He's going into the bed. There you go. Just, you're still right next to me. You're just in a more comfortable place, okay? All right. Anyway. So, the Page of Pentacles is kind of the beginning of this journey is what it comes down to. And Pentacle energy, it's, aside from it being materialistic and very tangible and like real in a sense, it's earth energy. It's grounded, it's stable, it's reliable. It can also be very slow energy too, for that matter, because it's earth energy. So anyways, the page kind of represents the beginning of this journey, the beginning of this thing, whatever this situation is. Now, as the page goes through their journey, because this is the beginning, this is someone typically, you know, in the tarot, it's typically somebody who's younger, someone who's inexperienced. It's typically somebody who isn't even necessarily taking a lot of actions on what's happening just yet. They may be more so just like thinking about things and preparing for things. As they go on, they start making actual moves of action, and that's where we get into the Knight energy. You guys don't have that here, but that's typically what happens next after that. And then the Knight eventually transforms into the King. And, you know, the King is, you know, obviously the elder here, the adult in the situation, the person who has the authority. So the King of Pentacles, he is typically someone who is very stable, solid, reliable. He's grounded. He makes a good businessman. He makes a good husband, a good father. So yeah, he's just like an overall good all-around dude. So with the two of these popping up, I feel like you're going through this transformation right now, going from the page to the King. And I know that the Knight is not in here, but obviously the Knight is one of those phases that you would go through. So it's like you're growing into this. You're growing into the situation that's happening right now around you. And I feel like this is going to vary once again for everybody. For some people, this is going to be in their personal lives. Other people, this is going to be in their work life. And so many different things. But either way, it's definitely a battle that's been going on. It's definitely a battle that you've been facing. I do feel like it's something that's worth fighting for, that's justified. There may be ways that you may need to kind of tweak things here and there in going about, you know, your end of the battle. But it's definitely something that you need to keep doing, keep going towards. As you're going through this battle, I feel like that's basically where you're going through this process of growing up from the page to the King in this situation. And, you know, ultimately being the one in charge of your own destiny. So that's definitely pretty cool. And if that doesn't describe you personally, it could describe somebody around you too. No growling down there. Okay, let's see what you guys got for your oracle cards. We're going to start off here with the Divine Dogs of Wisdom and see what the doggies have to say to you. Playfulness, just for fun. So when we are going through a lot, when we are kind of like going through our own crazy, chaotic battle, it's important to remember to still have fun, to still take a break and relax and just enjoy life and have fun. So I feel like this card is here just to remind you guys that throughout the month of September, make time for playfulness, make time for fun. You don't have to make everything about the battle that you're going through. And someone who's very strongly in this earth energy here, with the pentacles, that's someone who's going to be more so of a workhorse, someone who's going to be more so of someone who is going to want to press on and press through no matter what, someone who's not necessarily going to naturally be geared to do the fun. So this is definitely a reminder for you guys to find the fun still in the process. So yeah, take a break, have fun. And forgiveness. Set yourself free. So with forgiveness, I feel like in regards to this battle that you're going through, there could be forgiveness in a couple of different ways that needs to happen. Number one, you may need to forgive yourself, because if you have played dirty in this battle in the past, you may need to forgive yourself. Maybe you feel bad about it. Maybe you said some things or you did some things where, you're a decent person, you have a good conscience, and you probably realize that you crossed the line. Maybe you said something out of anger that you shouldn't have. So, forgive yourself for that. And as for the battle of whatever it is that you're up against, especially if it is a unfair situation, sometimes, we got to forgive our enemies. And once again, there may be very justified reasons to be upset. There may be very justified reasons to be mad and want to hold a grudge and, want to put up that fight and to continue to fight. But you got to do it without holding on to the poison of bitterness and resentment towards that other party, is what it comes down to. Because, in the end, the only person that's going to hurt is you. As they always say, unforgiveness is basically drinking poison and hoping the other party dies. That does not work. And let's see what else we have here. Openness. Embrace the possible. So that's important to remember when we're going through a battle, when we're going through an uphill battle, when we're at war, when we're at odds about something. And I feel like tapping into that playfulness here will help you be more open, because when we're being playful, when we're relaxed, when we're doing something that we enjoy, it is going to naturally just kind of open ourselves up a little bit more. So yeah, just be open. And especially with embrace the possible, because there could be solutions to the problems that you're having that you may not even realize are there. Like, it may not even be on your radar. It could be something so far off that you would never consider, and you're never going to consider it unless you're open to all the different possibilities as to how this could get resolved. So try to remember that as well. Be open, because the way that the answer to your problem may not be what you think it is. It may be something even better than what you're thinking it could be. Guidance, help is on the way. So once again, you guys have been through this battle. It's been difficult. In September, you can expect assistance. There is going to be help coming your way. So, whether this is like love and support and encouragement from friends and family, if it's like a legal situation, maybe it's like a legal team coming in and assisting you and helping you. If it's like financial, it could be some kind of financial relief coming in. But either way, there's a lot of different ways that this could look like, depending on what your current battle is, depending on what your current problem is. But the point is, you guys are not going to be alone in this battle in the month of September, and that relief is coming and that assistance is coming in order to help you get through this. So that is definitely good news to hear. Okay, we also have awaiting results. So the situation may not completely resolve in the month of September. I think you guys will definitely make some headway in terms of finding solutions with, you know, being open to those possibilities and having extra assistance come along the way and help you, but it may not necessarily completely resolve in September. I can't say as to when it'll resolve. Maybe it'll be in October. Maybe it'll be at the end of the year. Maybe it'll be sometime next year. I don't know. Once again, this is going to vary from person to person and what your situation is. But I feel like this is pretty clear that it's not going to resolve in September, but it will resolve sometime after September. So you may be doing a lot of waiting. That's probably going to be one of the more frustrating parts of September for you. But when you're trying to work out a battle and work through things, you know, the best things come to those who wait. So sometimes you have no choice but to do that. I mean, I'm not currently going through a battle myself like this situation, but I am definitely awaiting on something right now myself that I hope comes sooner than later, like earlier in September, because it's something I'm really excited actually to share with you guys. And so I myself am currently awaiting right now. And it's not fun because, believe me, there's a part of me that wants this right here, right now. And that's just a part of us kind of living in this drive-through mentality in the society that we live in. So moving on, I feel like moving on kind of ties in here with the forgiveness part here. Sometimes the only way you can win the war is to like move on from the battles that have already been lost, or the battles where it's like it's over, it's done with. So it's time to move on from the burdens of this situation, the negativity of this situation. You can't win a war if you're holding on to things that no longer serve you in it. We have the crown chakra coming through for you guys. So I feel like you guys, you're spiritually in tune. You're smart cookies. You're not dumb. You guys know how to do this. You guys know how to navigate this and to get through these choppy waters. And one of the ways that you do that is by tapping into that crown chakra. You know, our crown chakra sits at the very top of our head, and that's where we receive downloads. That is where we get information coming in from spirit. So keep that open, you guys. That quite literally could be what this openness is here for. You know, be open. Keep your crown chakra open so you can receive messages from spirit on how to navigate this situation and how to reach a point of success and where you want to go and what you want to do with this. And last but not least, we have control. So this card is actually all about releasing control. And this is one of the hardest things to do, you know, especially when you are going through a trying time, when you are in the midst of a big battle. It is hard to release control. But the thing is, when we are in the battle of our lives, there's usually not much that we have control over. We can't control situations and circumstances. We can't control people. The only thing we can really control is ourselves and our choices and our decisions and how we react to things. So, you know, that can be a really tough pill to swallow, more so when we're going through it than not. But it's important to remember that, because the sooner we are able to release that control and let go of that control, suddenly the burden of the battle becomes a little bit lighter. So, so this is definitely a reminder from the universe that now is as good of time as ever to release control of the situation. And that ring light just really wants to reflect here on everything I put down. I don't know how to move it in a way where it's like that crown chakra is like, woo, look at me. Okay. There, if I turn it that way, it's a little bit better. Okay. Anyways, that's basically what I have for you guys and what is going on for you for your September 2023 pick a card reading. As always, if the message did not flow, let it go. If it did resonate, now you know. I know this reading in particular, I feel like was way more general than the first two. The first two were, I feel, a little bit more specific. Maybe they were for like a specific person or something. I know this one was pretty vague, especially with like, oh, you're going through this battle, and you know, it's not for me to say what your battle is. You know, that could be so many different things. That's why I said like, oh, it could be on a personal level, it could be on a professional level, because I genuinely do feel like it's going to be something different for everybody, and everyone's own personal battles usually do look a little bit different. But hopefully it makes sense for whatever resonates for you and whatever is impacting you personally in your own life at this time. So yeah, anyways, before we wrap this reading on up, you guys, I would just ask that you give this video a big thumbs up, because of course that helps me out here on YouTube. And also, if you haven't subscribed, I invite you to go ahead and subscribe at this time and hit that notification bell, because that way then you will be up to date and in the know every time there is a brand new update or a brand new reading that goes up. And drop me a comment down below. Don't be shy. Feel free to say hi. I'm here to talk to and to communicate with, not just to, you know, post a video and go. So yeah, and if I resonate with you guys as a reader, of course, I invite you to check out my website, shadowandshine.com, because there are all kinds of readings up and available there for you guys to check out. So feel free to mosey on over there and scope it out if you feel called to. And, you know, it's a great way for me to get to know you guys a little bit better and help you out on a more one-on-one type of basis. So if that is something that piques your curiosity, check it out, shadowandshine.com. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out here with me today. I definitely appreciate it. And come on back again, come October for October's 2023 pick a card reading. I will of course have other readings that I will be posting between now and then, but I always try to like to do a monthly pick a card reading, you know, depending on whatever month we're heading into. So obviously this month was September, so definitely check things back out again in October and everything in between, because I have some fun stuff coming up throughout the month of September before we even get to October. So I am sending you guys lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling.